So the meeting has started. And now. This isn't right. Well, when Elizabeth gets here, she'll know what to do.
What about where the hamburgers and the, like, the 3 lines on the left?
Yeah, okay,
Oh.
and then.
I'm glad we haven't done this much, I think it would drive us crazy to kind of figure it out.
What is that? Oh,
Let me go back here. What is what?
oh, the thing, oh yeah, I was wondering, that's ambient something, never mind. I was wondering what was to the right of apps.
Well, settings, what do you, with the settings help? See that little
Four.
settings?
Oh, wait,
No, to
remote
the left,
access?
to the left, it's clean little settings,
Settings.
yeah. So your laptop hasn't found this stuff yet?
No, and it always just,
I think where you were at on the right next to settings.
Okay.
is where you need to be.
all right,
Source,
so,
source or search?
No, source.
Oh, yeah, so go back, yeah. It was the one with the arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
all right.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if it's.
Ooh, unknown. So here, let me do this. And then let me plug it in again.
Oh, what was that little symbol?
There we go.
Detecting
Back to the
Ah,
device.
all right,
Hot dog.
okay, all right.
People to take to figure it out, right?
Oh,
People over there. I don't know what it was anyway.
51.
all right.
Okay.
Okay, that's better. All right, start video, and then we'll wait for people. So the Zoom meeting is started, so we're being recorded, okay? And, oh, and I was gonna say there's Ella, but it's you.
Oh,
Ellen just looks a lot like me.
It does.
is she a sophomore now?
She is a sophomore, yeah.
Where's she going? again?
Oh,
Simmons University.
Oh, she like it?
She loves it.
Yeah, oh, great.
It's going really well.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, there's
oh,
Ted.
there's Tim.
Hey, Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Hello.
Here's the updates.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
I hate that when that happens. Oh, why does it take so long to do that? It can be 20 minutes. It only takes to do it when I have a class.
Oh, it's always, it's
So
always,
then I end up
yeah.
starting up the class on my
Yeah.
own.
yeah.
It was in the meeting part.
I just like
Yeah.
shut down
Yeah.
and work computer.
Yeah, well, so my computer's been getting glitchy and so I had the IT guy, you know, go through and check it over, because it's been like during some Zoom meetings, I've been frozen. And then it wasn't staying connected to the internet, and during the meeting that I had just prior to this, I got booted out. But Tim, I'm gonna make you a co-host, so if I do get booted out, the meeting won't end, okay?
Okay.
Right, and that way, now the meeting is secure.
You know, that was happening to me for a while, and when I updated Zoom, that helped because the IT.
Right, so he updated everything, and I mean, I didn't have that glitchiness, I just got booted out, and who knows? Did something, you know, like maybe I was doing something and I might have hit the wrong button or something, so there's Brad, so we technically we have a quorum, but we can wait for
Okay,
Kate and Elizabeth is coming, so.
90%.
Okay.
that's much faster than mine, I just. It's
Oh, and you know, I thought, like, should I bring printouts, like before, when we used to meet in person, I brought printouts of everything?
I printed stuff out.
Okay,
I much
like
rather.
there were printouts of the minutes and there were printouts of And-
okay, I printed it
Okay,
out.
but I mean, Tim, you certainly don't want to print it
No,
out.
that's a lot of, that's a lot.
Yeah.
of-
It's a lot of.
It is,
Yeah, I just
yes.
did it because I prefer to read
Okay.
it that way than on the.
So I'm actually gonna, I'm gonna just. Well, Brad can probably share the budget. Brad, can you share the budget when the time comes?
Thought it was coming.
He is-
Sure,
he's-
I think I have it. I'll go look.
Okay. Okay, then I can
So where is
actually,
he? How do you know he's there?
see the participants list?
Ah.
Yeah, okay.
I was gonna say,
But
I
I
didn't
can,
see his
I'm gonna
face,
just, let's see, I'm gonna do this. And then I can share the budget, Brad, you don't have to. Okay, here it is. It's, like I'm not 100% sure I have it saved on this computer because I save everything on the computer. So now save as, and then save. All righty. And then this, and then this here. Hello.
Do you?
Good to see you too. It took three of us, but we managed to get.
It's easy working. Without you, we don't really know what we did. Well, you might know what we did.
Y'all had a good
I
idea.
remember what we did.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
It looks good and it looks better than what I did last time, honestly.
Really?
I'm sure that whatever you did last time was just fine. Okay, so, so, so when the time comes, I can share the budget and then, and I suppose I could find the action plan and share that too if we needed to.
Oh, I forgot my reading glasses, damn it. That's right, I'm just gonna do this.
I did that for years. Something beyond readers when I really needed them. But it does make it-
Well, the owl isn't working, so, yeah.
We're still waiting for a few more.
We're waiting for Kate, yeah,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Is Brad like phone or something? I can't see him.
He doesn't have his,
Yeah.
video on,
Okay.
um,
Well, then, we're gonna have some blankets.
I know, it's from, it's from when we
Yeah,
used
were
to, yeah,
person, yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So, like, it all felt like so temporary, like when we were putting things.
I know.
And I just can't see, I mean, the online classes are well attended
They
and
are, yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
And like when we have the new library, I think we'll have a variety of different things, but,
I have one that's in person.
yeah,
Mhm.
so, I just can't see it.
It was outdoors though. last
Yeah.
week, and now it's
Yes, yeah, and the COVID and other communicable diseases spread more in fitness environments because people are breathing
outside.
heavier.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, and like, do you want to, I have one friend who goes to a dance class once a week and everybody wears an N95 mask,
Do that, yeah.
yes.
A few people, I don't want anybody doing our yoga class.
I'm gonna text Kate, should I,
Oh.
or have you talked to her today?
Yeah, she was planning on coming.
Okay.
Um,
Well, we'll give her another minute. Maybe we could just, through the chair. Okay. Minutes before,
Yeah, we can do the minutes. So we're supposed to say the meeting's being recorded because it's hybrid
right.
and it's already. So.
Yeah, we don't have to do
We
it,
don't
but
have to do it anymore? Okay.
no.
All right, I'll stretch it out.
And online, so, for the sake of the recording, this is a meeting of the library trustees and in person, Elizabeth Murphy, Mel De Silva, and Michelle Regan Ladd are currently attending, and then Tim Logan and Brad Foster are attending online.
Oh, do I need to make that clear in the minutes?
Well, you'll have a list of people who are in attendance,
No, but do I need to make it clear who's, no, okay.
like who's
It's not
attending
on the-
how?
Yeah,
No, I don't think so.
Okay, good.
No. Okay, I did see a car just pull in. so.
Okay.
And I did immediately make the correction, I hadn't changed, I still had it as Zoom, the last meeting minutes, so I changed that to in person.
Or hybrid,
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
was hybrid.
Okay.
I didn't even notice that when I read it. It was funny.
yeah.
Where was that?
Right, at the top.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Is Brad back?
Brad, are you with us?
I'm with you. I had my flu vaccine today, and I'm not feeling photogenic, so I turned my
Okay,
video off.
all right,
Okay, that's fine.
I'm sure you look lovely.
I got the flu and the COVID vaccine at the same time, and I was so sick. For like 3 days, I was so.
This is the first time I had no for the COVID.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I've never had COVID either.
I
Now
haven't
COVID
COVID.
vaccine, but the flu, my arm was really sore, but that was about it. Now it's the RSV. Okay, I think we'll go ahead and start. Does anybody, we'll start with reviewing the minutes from July 1st. July, no, sorry, June. June. They were back when we were, meeting about the open meeting law complaint.
Yep.
And they looked good to me. I didn't see anything. Anybody else have any feedback? Tim or Brad?
I looked at them. I don't remember anything wrong. I'm just trying to.
Oh, you weren't even listed as being there, Brad.
Well, maybe I wasn't.
It
I
doesn't
can't
say around
remember.
to even have you. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet it was when I was in Pennsylvania. So
So that
yeah.
could be- Okay.
So never mind.
Okay, so does anybody want to make a motion about the June meeting minutes? That wasn't the.
I move that we approve the June meeting minutes.
Okay, I'll second it. We should do a
It-
roll
it's
call.
a- For some reason, it's very hard to hear at this end and my,
Sorry, we're probably just not talking loud enough. I'll sit closer. So the meeting minutes for
thank you.
July, June 12th have been,
now it's muted.
did you say something?
Is it okay now?
Yeah, now I can hear.
Yeah, I think that's on the back when you moved it.
Yeah,
It went on.
there- I did
That's
the button
mute
on
button.
Okay.
Okay, so Mel made a motion to accept them as written and I second it. So now we do a roll call vote. Tim?
I,
Okay. Mel?
Aye.
Michelle? Aye. That's it. Three enough.
And I abstain.
And you abstained because you weren't there. Okay. Now we'll go to the minutes for the last meeting, October 30th, which is a hybrid meeting. Everybody get a chance to read them?
I had one correction. I don't know whether we start the process and then talk about corrections, or do you want to talk corrections first?
Yeah, let's do that. Go ahead.
Okay, let me get that back up again. So in the middle of the page, Library Building Committee, location of the septic has been identified. Excellent perk test. I don't remember what we said, but that's no longer true. So I don't know if we should just strike that sentence.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
I remember
definitely said, but
that's
if
what
it's
it
not
said.
true,
Me too, I remember that too.
Yeah.
Well, it's not true. It's, the perk was excellent, it's just not in an excellent location. So we just clarify it in the next
Okay,
set of minutes.
I'm happy with that.
All
That
right,
sounds good.
okay.
Okay, any other comments about,
So I don't have to change that? Is there-
I wouldn't, yeah.
Okay.
because that was true at the time. Any other comments about the minutes? No? Does anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a
Accept the
motion to approve the minutes.
minutes? Okay,
I'll second. This is Brad.
Okay, and then we'll take a roll call. Tim,
Aye.
Brad,
Aye.
Elizabeth, it's your first one. Mel,
Yes.
and Michelle, aye, okay, so we can move on from that. Let me just text Kate to see if he's coming. Usually I hung up. All right. let's see. Okay, there's.
This keyboard is slightly different from the keyboard that I use at work, and it drives me bananas. Cause I go to type and it's like things are not quite in the same place as the keyboard I use all the time.
All right, well, instead of, why don't we do some of the director's reports and those kind of things first, in case Kate does come, since the budget and the action plans, pretty important. So do you have anything you want to share? Mary?
Let's see. So it's Dino-vember. In 2013, a family in Kansas discovered that toy dinosaurs come to life during the month of November. And they shared that information with other families, and now Dino-vember is a national phenomenon. And libraries across the country now know that toy dinosaurs come to life during the month of November. The library's toy dinosaurs have been just completely unmanageable during the month of November, and we can't keep up with keeping them entertained. So Cynthia and I have put them all up for adoption.
Okay.
Children in Shutesbury are happily coming in and adopting dinosaurs and taking them home and reading to them and having other adventures. So that's really fun. So as of today, 9 dinosaurs had gone home to new homes. There were 11 dinosaurs still waiting for new homes. I'll know if anyone else while I wasn't there.
I saw that in your news.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah. So that's been really fun. Let's see, next Monday, so the Tewksbury Library, which is like way on the other end of the state, does so much fabulous online programming.
Oh,
And
they
they-
can't come. So
Already. So I'll just say this, and then we can go on to the meat of the agenda, if you would like. So Rob Hayes is their programming librarian, so they have a librarian whose whole job is to arrange adult library programming. And he organizes some really fabulous programming, virtual programming, and often offers the programs to libraries across the state at either very low or no cost. And so on Monday evening, Tess Gerritsen, who is a best-selling mystery author, will be doing an online author visit in conversation with Paul Doran, who's another sort of best-selling mystery author. And it's on Zoom, and it's, and people from Shutesbury get to attend, and there's a Zoom link on the website. And so it's been a really nice partnership. I don't choose to promote all of the programs because I couldn't possibly keep up with it all.
Yeah, they have that many.
And then in December, he's organized on the anniversary of the Boston Tea Party, and it might be the 350th anniversary of the Boston Tea Party. Could it possibly be whatever anniversary it is? It says it on the website. 300. It's more than 250th. It's the 250th. That makes more sense. So there's 2 women that are going to do a program on the history of the Boston Tea Party and information about tea. So, and that I believe is at 2 p.m. And again, you just sign up through the Zoom link on the website. And so those are two programs that I'm doing in collaboration with them.
Cool. Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
All right, how about the library building committee? Brad, do you or Mary Ann have something you want to share?
We met today. The big issue is related to what I brought up earlier. The way Marianne put it was the perk test is okay, but the site didn't work. The siting where they were hoping to put the septic would require a really high, I think of it as a pyramid, a really high platform. And there's a lot of reasons why that doesn't make sense. And so they tried another site and that didn't work particularly well either. And now they have a third one and we're waiting. Marianne, Thursday, there's a perk test of this new site. And
Yes.
and then we're, in a sense, we're on hold. We're waiting for some stuff to get done. And a whole bunch of things are in process. A lot of design's been done that's fabulous, but we're waiting for a lot of things to get finished. And the intention right now is December, I think it was the 5th, we'll meet again and do a walkthrough of the plans and hopefully talk about pricing set. The
Okay.
concern we all have is this just caused a new delay, and every delay is always a worry. So all we can do is watch and try to minimize the outcomes. Marianne, what did I leave out?
That's it. That's it. So, and it's, so the septic, the leach field so the existing driveway that's closer to the stone wall,
Yeah.
the leach field would have to be in that existing driveway. And it would have to be a raised system. So you'd be looking at a leach field with a library behind it. And so now we're gonna do a perk test very close to where we did the perk test 10 years ago, or 12,
Okay, further back
13,
then.
almost 14 years ago.
Yeah.
And put that leach field, which will most likely also have to be a raised system, but it'll be behind the library instead of up on the road. So it's just delaying things by a few weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we're gonna see if we can find ways to sort of catch up, on the other end.
Okay, that sounds good. Does anybody else have any questions before we move on? No? No? Okay. Tim, do you have an update from the Friends?
No, they've not had any meetings or haven't heard anything from them since the last meeting they had.
Now we'll just have to hope that there isn't too much rain Saturday morning.
Yeah, right. I'll give an update.
I'm still having a huge difficulty hearing everybody.
Okay, well, I don't talk loud enough as it is, so I need to sit closer and talk.
Okay, I'll,
Saturday, I was just
Yeah.
asking that.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so the Friends have two things planned. They have the turkey trot Saturday morning.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to rain overnight, and the rain is supposed to have been moved out of town by 9 a.m.
Hopefully.
Okay, all right, so, all right.
Great, what time does the trot start?
9 a.m.
Nine.
Great.
Okay, so I want that reflected in the minutes.
And the rain will be moved.
Yes, okay, all right.
By 9
And then the Friends are also planning their Giving Day, which, usually kicks off the year-end fundraising.
Right.
And they have a $10,000 matching gift.
Oh.
And the turkey trot, so as of this morning, there were 107 runners registered, 35-ish sponsors.
Great.
The race has already raised more than $10,000. And it should be a lot of fun, and it's not too late to register. There was a wonderful article in today's Recorder and Gazette written by Scott Mersbach about the race. So the group of volunteers that has planned this race has been dedicated and organized and creative and kind of magical.
Great.
And so I'm really excited about the day.
How many runners did you say were signed up?
107. And then I think we have 37 volunteers signed up, plus the core group. So it's really pretty remarkable.
That's great.
Yes, and then the Friends of the Library, at the same time, the Friends of the Library also prepared a mailing to send out to donors, to past donors, and that went in the mail today about the Giving Day. So the Friends of the Library have expanded their efforts, so that we'll have enough money to build the library. It's pretty
And the
exciting.
soups and stews, what is it, soups and stews, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and then they'll
Yeah.
have their soups and stews dinner on
Yeah.
Friday, December 1st at the Athletic Club.
Obsessed with that.
Yes,
Mhm.
okay,
It's
yes.
right across the street from my house.
Yeah,
Yes,
convenient,
yeah.
huh?
Okay, yeah. Okay.
December 1st,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and when is Giving Tuesday?
November 28th, the Tuesday after Thanksgiving.
Echoing what Tim said, whenever two of you talk at once, it's hard, it's almost impossible to hear. If you could not talk over each other, then it would be a lot easier.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, is there anything that you want us to say again that you might have missed?
No, I think I picked up the gist.
Okay. All right. Now we have to get to the important things, the budget and the action plan. Which would you like to present first, Mary?
How about the budget? So I shared the budget, and why don't I share the budget? Let's see. Oh, no, there it is over there. Share screen. I have to pull it up first. Okay. And this, and then share screen. It's still not there. That's this one. I don't think this is the one.
So did you get a chance to look at the budget, Elizabeth? Okay. You want a copy of the copy of that one? The first time even though I dealt with budgets in the public schools, this looked so different than what I was used to. So, you want to look at the one I was okay looking up there?
I'm okay with that.
Okay, all right. So Mary, I want you to do a little walkthrough.
Okay, all right, so can everybody see this online or not?
It's not online. I have
No,
a
okay,
copy.
all right, I think share screen. I don't see it. Oh,
This way
wait,
over to the left.
is it this one?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, there you go. Now you can see it. So this is, so we have in here the budget going back to fiscal year 20. And then we've got the budget for fiscal year 24. That's the year we're working in right now. So at the last trustees meeting, I mentioned, and then we've got the draft budget for fiscal year 25. And so the changes are, at the last trustees meeting, I mentioned that that my job has just become a different job, and there are a lot more administrative tasks, partly with just how, use of the library and library programming has evolved, and then partly because of how library services and the way we all interact with each other have evolved because of COVID. We are doing a lot of stuff, you know, online and in person or hybrid, and there's a lot of administrative tasks associated with all of that. And that I could use more help, and so I mentioned wanting to add 3 hours a week to Cynthia's, to the library assistant position. So that $19,000, $19,019, in the assistant aid, other salaries line, I added 3 hours a week to that library assistant line, and that came up to that 22,176. And then, you know, and then we do things like acquisitions are, my goal is to spend $19,331 this year, and then office supplies might be around $4,000, and then our CW Mars membership is that 5,721, and then next year it is 5,779. That's a real number. And then programs, I spent $20,150 last year. And I have no reason to think why I won't spend about that much this year and about that much next year. And so then, you know, then we have a total in expenses, and then we have revenues, and we have a lot of revenues. So we have our town meeting revenues, and then we have, it's a revolving fund that that the town's dog tax goes into, and a small amount of fines and fees that we collect, which is really, you know, just, it's not very much money. That $2,073, that was from fiscal year 23. I spent that line to 0. And then this year, I'm hoping to not spend more than 850 from that line. And then next year, again, it'll be, I just didn't, I don't know what we'll get from dog tax, and the amount we get from fines and fees isn't enough to, you know, it's not a reliable source of income. But I do have $850 for this year. So state aid for this year and next year, I'm hoping to save the state aid and use it for the building. And so that's why I have 0 in those lines. We get a grant from the state for $2,660. It's SLN, that's the Small Libraries and Networks grant. So the state pitches in money so that small towns can be part of resource shared networks like CW Mars. So that comes out of that 5,700 up above. And then so far you trustees have voted to spend $5,411 from the expendable trust for library operating expenses this year, with you know, telling me that if I need more to come back and we could talk about it. And then, so I put in 6,000 for next year, that I think we can say you can dedicate, and then we'll see if I need more. And then, you know, I've applied for $3,000 in cultural council grants. I received a grant from, which I emailed you all about, from the New Salem Academy. These grants straddle fiscal years. They're calendar year grants that straddle fiscal years. And I got one last year, so those dollar amounts reflect the 2 grants that straddle the years, that 4,500 and then that 3,000. And so it was really exciting to get that 3,900 for fitness programs, because I spend up to $12,000 a year just on fitness programs. And so that's going to kind of take the pressure off of the fundraising end, while our fundraising efforts really need to be focused on the building. Oh, the other thing is I wanted to put in, so under ATM operating allocation, so line 18, for the current fiscal year, it says $20,756. And for next year, I'm proposing adding $1,000 to that line to help with the cost of programming. So we, out of that operating allocation, I budget 2,000 for programs. And mostly it's about fitness programming. And I wanted to add 1,000 because that's about what we spend on story time. And sometimes we spend more. It's a collaboration with the Community Network for Children. And I don't think story time should be dependent on fundraising. I think story time should be a basic service that we should include in our operating budget. It should be, and our operating budget should be, our library services should be sustainable. And so I'm proposing adding $1,000 to that line, which increases our town meeting allocation from $96,656 to $100,813 if the finance committee approves it. And so first you have to approve it, then the finance committee has to approve it. And then the Community Network for Children is going to pitch in $1,200 for story time. And then the Friends of the Library always balance out our needs. And so that's, a guesstimate of how much we'll be asking for them for, but it's not unheard of for them to contribute, up to $10,000. And then the Recreation Committee has committed $1,500 towards fitness programming for this year. I'm hoping they'll commit that much next year. And the Council on Aging has committed $3,000 towards fitness program already this year. I'm hoping that we can count on them for that much next year. Any questions? So Elizabeth, there are a couple of state certification requirements that are drivers of the budget. So the state, in order for a library to be certified by the state to receive state aid, we have to meet certain requirements. Our budget has to increase by, our town appropriated budget has to increase by 2.5%, but of the average of the last 3 years. So you take the last 2 years actual town appropriated budget and this year's next year's projected, this year's budget. I don't know, I use the right 3 numbers. And then you add those together, you divide by 3, and then you multiply it by 2.5. And when I sent you this, I'm sure I sent you notes where I showed all that math. And our allocation last year and this year and next year exceed that because the year before last, I got a salary correction and I got a $9,000 raise, and it was much higher than the 2.5%. And so we're still sort of cushioned by that as far as meeting that requirement. That's a minimum budget increase. It's not that, by no means is the state suggesting that a 2.5% increase is a maximum budget increase or that it even meets your operating needs. And then the other driver of the budget is that in order to be certified to receive state aid, we're required to spend 20% of our appropriated budget on new materials and or technology for patron use. So books, DVDs, magazines, anything else that we circulate. And then if I buy new computers or other things for patron use. So that's part of why we spend so much on materials. Plus people just use it. They clamor for it. So those are the drivers of the budget.
Can I add some comments?
Yeah, go ahead, Fred.
So to my mind, what we present is a consolidated budget. It includes the town allocation. On the revenue side, it's line 19, ATM total, annual town meeting total, and then all sorts of other sources of funding. And the town pretty much gets fixed in town meeting. Town meeting this year, line items will be in there that cover the library's salaries and that cover town salaries and that cover library operating expenses. And once that's done, those are fixed. And the rest of the numbers, they float depending on what happens. And when they float, the expense side floats too. If we don't get an expected grant, then we take that grant off the expense side. And it took me a while to figure that bit out, how it's really more than one budget at once. And we were asked to do level funding, which we mostly did in terms of level funding on line 18. The one thing Marianne added there was $1,000. And then for salary allocations, you don't see the breakdown on the expense side. This is the town meeting salary allocation. There we go, the two different ones. As Marianne said, she wanted to add 3 more hours, so that went up. So with the exception of those two things and the fact that town meeting put Marianne, after way too long a delay, onto a more appropriate salary level, that salary level keeps marching forward under the town rules, and it's sort of a separate approval process. The thing that always just strikes me as amazing is I look at those revenues from line 20 on down, and that's a huge amount of money that's coming in. Well, line 20 itself, that's town money. It just doesn't count as the allocation. But the rest of it, it's a huge amount of money that's coming in addition to what town allocates. And we have a massive amount of programs and services because of that money and all that. I feel like I trumpet this a lot. All that is because of Marianne's work. She does a great job at applying for grants and getting all that money, and I think it's phenomenal. So that's my summary of the budget.
So good points, Brad, both of you, thank you, that really made it pretty clear, I think. How about you, Elizabeth, since you're new to this?
I think it's pretty clear, and just, my question is, what Brad was just explaining is that your salary will change, it will increase a little bit based on whatever the town rules are.
Right, so the
Okay.
town, the personnel committee determines raises.
Okay.
And so we don't put in the raises, they do. And so those numbers will, then the town, Becky will tell me those numbers. And when I put in, then when I'm repopulating this with the actual budget, I'll put those numbers in.
So we'll
Yeah.
approve like a preliminary budget, and then it will look slightly different at town meeting.
yes,
Well, they don't see all of this detail, though.
right. At town meeting, they just see the salary line and the expense line. Yeah. And the change, the percent difference.
Any other questions? Anybody? Tim, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay,
I just wanted to say, Brad said they asked for a level funded budget, and they actually asked for a level services budget, which is a little bit different. And so I took that
Yes.
to mean,
Thank you.
thanks, Brad. Yeah, if you want me to provide the level of services, this is what I need. That's what I took that to mean. Is, if you want me to keep doing this level of service, then I need a little bit more help.
yeah, exactly. Okay, we don't have any other questions. Does somebody want to make a motion to accept the budget as presented?
I move we approve the budget as presented. This is Brad.
Okay, anybody want a second?
I second. This is Tim.
Okay. All right, now we'll do a roll call. Elizabeth? Mel? Tim?
Aye.
Brad?
Aye.
And Michelle, aye. Great, thank you to Brad and Mary Ann.
Thank
job, very
you.
clear.
I'll stop sharing that. Okay, thanks, everybody.
Great. Okay, now you want to talk about your action plan?
Sure. So the action plan is a requirement of the MBLC. that libraries not in order to be certified by the state, but in order to receive grants, that you have a long-range plan and that you submit an action plan every year that relates to your long-range plan. And the template that I sent all of you is their template. And we were a small library with a small staff in the middle of a construction project. So mostly the actions are to keep, providing some programming and to get the building, to continue the process of building the building. So I think that we can't really put too much more or any more on that action plan.
I just have a question. Why is it goal number 1 and goal number 4 then?
So
Previous year?
because I just took,
From previous year? Okay,
yeah,
okay.
so, yes, yeah. So I looked at what the goals were and said, this is what we've got, we still want to be providing services to, providing enriching opportunities for the community. And then with the goal number 4 is the one about library construction. And we're, the next time we write a long range plan, it won't say anything about library construction.
True.
Yes.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness, yes.
No, it looks pretty straightforward to me. I mean, anybody have any questions or comments? Tim or Brad? Anybody in the room?
No.
Hey, Brad? Any questions about the action plan?
I think it all sounds fine.
Okay. All right, so does somebody want to make a motion to accept the action plan to the state as proposed?
Move that we accept the action plan.
Okay. Would like to make a second?
Seconded.
Okay, Elizabeth, second. Okay, we'll do a roll call then. Tim,
Aye.
Brad,
Aye.
Elizabeth,
Aye.
Mel,
Aye.
and Michelle, aye. Great. That was a pretty speedy meeting. Kate asked if we could talk about the volunteer thank you notes next month, so we can move that to the December agenda. And then how about, is there anything that we need to have on our December agenda? And we have to choose a date.
Talking about the new, cost.
Oh, yes,
That's gonna be, right?
Yeah,
your library estimate.
And were we going to talk about the name of the library at some point?
Bingo.
That was on my notes from last time.
Yep.
Okay, and then, I guess we'll have just a report to find out how much money the turkey trot raised. Right?
yes, yeah.
Anything else? Can you think of anything else that needs to be on the agenda, Tim or Brad?
This is not an agenda item, but was it Finance Committee, Marianne, is December 12th?
Yes,
Yep.
yeah,
Good point. Yes, it is. 7:30, is that correct? Still?
7,
7? Oh,
yeah. I'm looking for my calendar. I have a new phone and I'm just still learning how to
December
use
12th.
it. And I hate it. So December.
I'm assuming that's virtual and.
Yes, yes,
finance.
yeah,
Finance committee, that's a good point.
Yes.
Let's put that up.
And do they sometimes give you an exact time?
it's 7 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we, sometimes they'll have 2 committees on the same night, but for some reason they just have us. And so they've confirmed that it's, yeah,
Right at the beginning.
which that's not any kind of indication of any, but I would say save an hour. Just in case.
Okay.
So,
I'll make sure I, get some hand margaritas and on that note.
I think they've been pretty good timing wise, but I remember at least one meeting. I feel like there was one meeting where it started early because their agenda changed. So I sometimes log in and make myself muted and unseen while I wait for what's happening.
Yeah, Brad, I think it was you and I that were there last year and it went on forever. I was texting Brad. So I was like, oh my goodness, when did it our turn? Okay, anything else or just pick the date? Brad, do you have any conflicts on Mondays in December?
None that I know of yet.
Okay.
When my building that I'm trying to buy from New Salem comes up in front of the select board, I don't have a choice, but I don't think anything's happening on that. We just finished a project related to that, and I don't think anything more is going to happen for a while.
Does anybody have a preference about whether it's the 11th or the 18th of December?
I would prefer the 18th.
Okay, the 18th work for everybody?
Yes, works for me.
Works for me
Okay.
too.
Perfect, that was easy.
And are we gonna do it in person again, or hybrid?
I think so. I think this is our new thing. Me too. I get tired of looking at screens all the time.
I just wanna point out that Elizabeth suggested that we, attend the finance committee meeting online, but from the SAC. And I think that that's not a bad idea.
Yep.
Is it the same group of people on finance committee as last year? Is it?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, I think there's one new member. Yeah.
A friendly new member?
Yeah, yeah, they're generally a friendly group.
Yeah.
So, with a big job. Yes.
Okay. So, just to recap, we'll be at the finance committee, as many people as possible at 7 PM on virtual meeting on December 12th. Our next trustee meeting, 7:30, Monday the 18th. We'll talk about the new library estimate, name of the library, Tricky Trot, and the volunteer thank you notes.
And probably like Giving Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
and
Well, when's Given Tuesday? Is it the 5th?
28th.
The 28th.
Oh, it's,
November.
it's November. I was
And like the
thinking.
soup and stews. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah,
that
yeah.
hasn't happened yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
that's-
they were-
Oh.
I was thinking Giving Tuesday
Yeah.
was in December, okay. And soups and stews.
Yeah, because Thanksgiving's a little early this year. So,
Marianne, if a whole bunch of us show up for finance committee, as in enough for a quorum, do we have to know in advance and make it an official meeting of us?
No, because there's nothing for you to deliberate or vote on.
Great.
You've
Thank
already
you.
deliberated and voted on the budget tonight. The finance committee will hear the budget request and then take it. You know, they don't make any decisions that night. Then they hear all the budget requests and then they use it to make a budget, you know, as the months go on, leading up to town meeting.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. I guess we can adjourn if there's nothing else. Yes,
Oh, who's Nathan Murphy?
The troll.
okay.
Yeah.
I was like, who's he doing?
So you should actually list that he was present for the minutes. Okay.
All right, thank you, everyone. We can adjourn then until next
Okay.
month.
All right, thank you, everybody. Good night. Good night,
Yeah.
Nate.
Good night.
Good
Good
night,
night.
Brad. Good night, Tim. Okay. All
Good
right.
night.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay. Okay. Nathan.